suffering. If I had to describe my experience in Arisen so far, it would be with that word. Now, I didn't want to be the strongest. I didn't even want to be top 10. I got to experience all that and more in the last game, and I knew it was highly unlikely for lightning to strike twice and for me to roll in as the most overpowered prodigy again. But I also didn't expect to have a lower power level than literally the ramen guy. Bro, how am I dead? This fucking game, like, come on. Everything in Arisen is RNG, and as soon as you spawn into the game for the first time, how much fun you have in the game is immediately determined. Now, to be fair, you are able to train for anything in the game and eventually get to an OP level with enough hard work, but that doesn't change the fact that at the start, if you spawn in with the build I did, you are better off putting a double barrel shotgun to your head and pulling the trigger than progressing. Now, between my last video and this one, I was able to become a chunin, but trust me, that did not help my case much, and I'll explain why. So basically, after, I was able to check my chakra affinity by using the chakra paper, and to do that, all you had to do was put a little chakra into the paper, and then after a while the paper would reflect what affinity you had. Sounds good, right? Well, this happened. I don't really know how to use the press P. Okay, if I press P, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, water? Oh, I mess with water. What? Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding. Yes, you saw that right. My only affinity is water. You have got to be kidding me. Now, at this point, I wasn't going too crazy because there's still lots of people in the anime who only have water as their affinity that are pretty strong, you know, like Zabuza. But then you juxtapose that with the fact that people who are academy students are spawning into the game with every single affinity, 3 affinities, medical jutsu. Meanwhile, I'm here at Chunin with 1 affinity. And come on, you know, water is water. It probably isn't that strong. But that's not even the worst of it. Much like the anime, when you spawn in, everyone has different chakra reserves. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Basically, I had so little chakra that I could not even use a single jutsu from my 1 affinity. Meanwhile, academy students are spawning in, letting loose cataclysmic waves that I could only do in my dreams. Meanwhile, to even match half of their chakra reserves, I have to train mine by water walking for hours. Now, most people in my situation would give up trying to be a shinobi, that or they'd be dangling from a chandelier, if you know what I mean. Bruh. But not me, not ShiverAway. I was not a prodigy in the last game just because of what I spawned with. I was a prodigy because of my skill and determination. And in this video, you will see where that got me. But if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. And by the way, game link to Arisen in my Discord and link to my Discord in the description. Eventually on my travels at a campfire, I met someone named Wells. Now he's important because he's literally the only other person in the game that spawned in as bad as me. His only affinity was wind and his build overall was just pretty trash. So he was nice enough to spare me some food, but then this happened. Muscle strength?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? Okay, let me use this.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Right, okay.
I gained no hunger from that.
For real?
Yeah.
Right, here's a number 1.
So it turns out that I was malnourished too, and what this means is that it was going to be really hard for me to gain any hunger from eating anything, and what that meant was that I didn't regen my chakra or my health. So yeah, stuff was getting real hard, so I needed food fast, and I knew that I didn't have the time to go hunting or anything like that, so there was only one way. I have no health.
Kill this one. It's fine. Right back.
it was time to rob someone. Because if you don't have food, the only logical thing to do is to take someone else's. So we decided to 2v1 a random guy that we found. Now he looked like he was pretty stacked on resources because he did have a pretty big bag, so we thought that we'd be able to get some food out of him. But then that is when reality struck. We actually forgot that we were still the weakest 2 people in the entire game, and even in a 2v1, we still lost.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, die like a man, die like a man then.
I got a lot of money, bro.
Alt F4, Alt F4, Alt F4, Alt F4, Alt F4. Run on the water.
I kicked him off the edge.
So basically we ran away. Now, even if I'm not as strong as everyone else, I'm still the combat log king, and I am the fastest shinobi. But there was more important matters at hand. After getting myself healed up with some food, we actually rushed over to this one location where we were gonna meet up with a bunch of other lead villagers because we just received word that the Hokage had retrieved the Executioner's Blade from the Land of Iron. Now the Executioner's Blade was one of the strongest weapons of its kind, and they were few and far between. So we knew that we had to be the one that would claim this grand prize. It was our only chance not to be a side character in this game. So it was a tournament for which of the Chunin was gonna get a blade. Now, on that man's fireball, that's when the first round was gonna start. Now it was Wells versus someone that was very strong. He had jutsu, a tanto, and he was overall just very progressed. So it was going to be a hard match. So you see Wells attempt to block, but then he immediately gets flung back because he didn't realize that his opponent had earth. Now at this point, I thought it was over. Now you might be thinking that me and Wells are at a disadvantage, but remember what I said about being a prodigy because of skill. Now we trained for hours, we would 1v1 each other over and over again because we literally have nothing else. We don't have jutsu, we don't have any crazy affinities, all we have is this hands. And we grinded enough just getting so good at the base weapon combat that it didn't matter what you had against us. We were so good to the point that we were beating even our opponents with jutsu. So you'll see right here, you might be thinking that it's a close match, but then eventually Wells puts them down. Now remember this, kids, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But now it was time for me to fight. Now I had taken the earlier loss in the 2v1 fight to heart, so I'd been training and sparring with people all day. So this was just gonna be another walk in the park. Or so I thought. So I start fighting this guy and my weave actually fails. I only weave one of his attacks and he's able to draw first blood on me. I try to go in again with a slide. I miss and he's able to pull off another combo on me. I'm almost at half health at this point. Now I'm getting scared. I'm at half health and I barely even touched him. Now I'm starting to think, am I going to lose? Everything that I wanted, my only chance of even possibly being a main character is dripping down the drain. As if, whose channel do you think this is? The adrenaline starts to kick in, and then I start hitting my combos. I remember everything I practiced for, everything I trained for, and I imagined how bad my experience would be if I don't at least so much as get that main character weapon. And then with one swift slide attack, he was put down. A victory for ShiverAway. Some side character fights transpire, yada yada yada. Okay, it is time. Me versus Wells. Finalist match. Winner gets the Executioner's Blade. Winner becomes a main character. Oh, well, looks like he's letting me win. Man, what a great guy. But it didn't matter. All that mattered was I finally had the Executioner's Blade, in which I was able to drop someone in less than 10 seconds. The strongest blade in the entire game. I'd finally be able to compete. Now, the Hokage actually wanted to see if I was going to be able to use it properly. Now, he challenged me to a 1v1 and I did show him that I was pretty good. I was able to adapt fast to the slower swing speed, but what it lacks in speed, it definitely makes up for in damage and the range. So you can literally be block breaking people from so far away, and that's actually like what I was able to do to him a few times, so much to the point where he brought out his real weapon, which is a crazy spec, and I still block broke him with that. It was actually looking like I could possibly win, even though he wasn't using, you know, any clan jutsu, but Andy does have my health with a single fireball. But you know, it was still looking up, because if I was able to kind of compete with the Hokage, then you know, I was still a pretty decent shinobi despite everything that happened to me. Now, of course, I did not win the fight, you know, that is just wishful thinking, and I know that he wasn't going 100%, he definitely underestimated me, but still, I was just happy that I was able to have the chance to actually be on the same level as these people. But that said, I was given this scroll, and basically what the scroll did was I was able to seal the executioner's blade in it so that it wouldn't get stolen. So if I was getting knocked and someone were to loot me, I wouldn't lose the blade now that I had it in the scroll. So it was actually a really good system. And if you think about it, technically I'm not jutsu-less, because it is a summoning jutsu to bring out a weapon. So I guess this is the first jutsu that I have. So I put 2 hand signs on it, and then there we go. So yeah, I was really happy. Things were looking up. But there you have it. Jutsu or not, I was pretty much beating everyone that I was fighting, and I could actually compete now. And that was really all I wanted. As I said, I didn't want to be the strongest or anything again. I just wanted to be able to compete, and I could do that and more now. So I guess you could kind of call me the Rock Lee if Rock Lee used swords, I guess, because I still don't have any elemental jutsu, but maybe I will in the next video. So definitely stick around for that. I'll see you guys in the next one.
I can persevere, go forward on my own. There's a bright and shining pure light coming through the darkness of the night. Now I can't help crying for my life. It is endless time that I live inside. Take a closer